Good evening, my dear YouTube viewers. Today also we will continue the schedule related information. The third point in the cooperation is fear. Fear is an important factor inhibiting the responses for the cooperation. If the respondent feels that certain information it may give in response to certain questions that may be used to injure his interests, his fear and reluctance are quite natural. For example, if the question is, do you have some other source of income other than your regular employment? The disclosure of the source may attract adverse attention of income tax department or his employer. Under these circumstances, the respondent will cooperate only if they are fully convinced that their replies will be strictly confidential and would not become available to anyone other than the genuine researcher. Why? Because in future there may be a lot of problems. Next, scepticism. Some respondents do not appreciate the worth and value of the research. They consider it to be social nuisance rather than the social research. Such persons are opined and they do not easily listen to the others. To disabuse these persons of their faulty notions requires human courage and tact. By his correct approach and upright manners, the field worker can succeed in breaking resistance in these people. Suspicion. Sometimes the social researchers are mistaken as government agents or the agents of some private detective agency or organizations. The suspicion can be removed by showing the identification cards and cogent explanation. Introvert nature. Some people by nature like loneliness and keep themselves aloof from humdrum of the world, that is the busy and complex of this world. Such persons are temperamentally disinclined to participate in public speeches or public activities or programs. It is really difficult to persuade these persons to make some concession in their generally averse attitude, that is the negative attitude. It needs great tact and wisdom to tackle such persons. They may soften a bit if they told, and that their indifference to the social matters is a boon because it helps them view the social goings on in their proper perspective way, and that their observations are truly acute and perspicuous. Therefore, their help is of exceptional value for the social research. Once again, we will recap the information. The another related subheading for the reluctance of the cooperation is fear. Under these subheadings, the fear is an important factor inhibiting the responses and cooperation. That is, if the respondent feels that certain information that it may give in response to the certain questions that may use it to injure their personal interest, and that highlights the fear and reluctance are quite natural. Why? Because they are afraid of them. If they spell out something, they may write it and inform to the others. For example, if the question is, do you have some other source of income than your regular employment? Then the disclosure of the source may attract the adverse attention of income tax department or his employer. So he is afraid to give such type of information. Under these circumstances, the respondent will cooperate sometimes only if they are fully convinced that their replies or the respondents will be strictly confidential and would not become available to anyone other than the genuine researcher. Skepticism. Under this, some respondents do not appreciate the worth and value of the research. They consider it to be social nuisance rather than the social research. Such persons are opined and they do not easily listen to what others say. To disabuse these persons of their faulty notions requires the human courage and the tact. They are comparing with another part. By his correct approach and upright manners, the fieldwork can succeed in breaking resistance in these people. Next, suspicion. Sometimes the social researchers are mistaken as government agents or agents of some private defective agency or organizations. So, the suspicion can be removed by showing simply the identification card and cogent explanation in a right manner. Introvert nature. Under this, some people by nature like loneliness and keep themselves aloof from the humdrum of the world or the complex and busy of this world programs or world activities. Such persons are temperamentally disinclined to participate in the public activities. They are not interested because basically they were alienated by themselves or by the society. It is really difficult to persuade these persons to make some concession in their generally averse attitude, negative attitude. It needs great tact and wisdom to tackle such persons. They may soften a bit if they told that their indifference towards the social matters is a boon, because it helps them view the social goings on, that is the social matters, that is the subject matter, is going on in their proper perspective, and that their observations are truly acute and perspicuous. Therefore, their help is of exceptional value for the social research. So, we can make the respondent in a polite way, the interaction, very humble way, or else we cannot get the reliable and useful and research based information from the respondent. By this, today's lecture is completed. This is Bindu taking leave from the YouTube platform. I am trying to stop the shorts. Why? Because you are not interested to watch it. So better to go through the regular videos. If possible, I will do it. But generally, I too will prefer agree with your point, with your statement or with your temperament. Okay, good day and good night.